Your business is your American dream, but today opening your doors comes with tough questions. Will customers walk in? Can I stock the shelves with what they need? Can I afford salaries? And how do I compete with the big box store down the road? That is exactly why we created Community Pay It Forward. Because in hard times, we need stronger communities led by people with bigger hearts. Our Shop, Click, and Pick program makes it simple. Every purchase at a participating small business supports a cause you care about. You shop, others thrive. Even when money is tight, you can still make a huge difference. You're not just shopping, you're supporting families, nonprofits, and your neighbors. That's the power of community. That's the power of the Community Pay It Forward family. When you join the Community Pay It Forward family, you will be seen, you will be remembered, and you will be a hero for people in need everywhere. You, your business, and Community Pay It Forward. Because no one needs to go it alone. When we all. Every car that rolls into your shop is more than just repair, it's someone's lifeline. Now, what if every repair could also be a lifeline for someone in need? When you join Community Pay Forward, a portion of each job can help a family, veteran, or nonprofit without costing your customer anything extra. With the Shop, Click, and Pick program, your shop keeps cars running. Let's keep communities running too. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning, which means it is time for Footprints Forward, focusing on mental health and what we can do for each other. Um, we also take in once a month at the Monday after our family networking, we share this program because our focus on family networking is try to be there for other people when they need us. Okay, we ask a very very specific question, and it's an important question for every business owner, and I hope that every business owner sees and they ask themselves this question every day because I think it's vitally important. And that question is, what can I do today to help someone in my community? And your community is worldwide. And the second question is, what can you do today to help me? Whether that's talking to one specific person, whether that's talking to your consumers, whether that's talking to other business leaders in your community. I think that's a vital, vital question that we have to ask ourselves every day, people. Not just in business, in every aspect of life. We need to make sure that we can ask that question and answer that question at the same time. What can I do for someone in my community today? And what can you do, or what can you do for me? Sorry, I know what I'm saying. I just don't know what the hell I'm saying. So, which is normal. But yeah. So start every day asking that question and work towards that answer. And I think that it'll give your day focus, and I think it'll give your day a chance to succeed. So we will also be playing the family networking meeting from Thursday, which we had a lot of fun. Got to meet some wonderful people, and we will be moving forward. Our next meeting is July 10th, and you are more than welcome to join us. If you would like to be invited to the family meeting, simply reach out to me and we will get you in there. Visit communitypayitforward.us and hit contact us, or use my for my card. And when you do that, you can get use my for my card, which is up here in the corner. You can contact me, and I will get you the information that you need for family networking. Just send me a message that says, Zach, interested in family networking. I'll get you in there. Our first guest tonight is a monthly show that we have a lot of fun with. Um, it's a it's a different perspective, talking talking about an important subject for guys, okay, and women. I don't ever think that there's a point in time that listening, like men listening to problems with women, I don't think that's a bad thing. Ladies listening to what is a man thinking, I think that is so important to do. We need to make sure that we understand each other. I think if we understood each other a little bit better, maybe there would be fewer, you know, the divorce rate wouldn't be skyrocketed. Maybe the depression would come down. Maybe the volatile feelings everywhere would come down. So Joel and I are putting together this show where all we want to do is discuss things that we've learned throughout our growth period, and try to help other men who are going through this, and to tell men, hey, it's okay. It's okay to not feel like you're under control. You can't always be on. Every single one of you understand what I just said. You cannot always be on. There are times that you need to sit back and you need to relax for yourself. If you would like to join Joel and I, we invite you. We would love to have you on one of our recordings. All you got to do is simply go to this QR code, get on my calendar, and we will schedule with you and we will record an episode. But for right now, I am proud to introduce to you one of our wonderful platinum partners, my interview with Mr. Joel White. We are back with the June episode with my good friend Joel White. We're talking about men's health. And Joel, first off, welcome to the show. Very glad to have you back doing this. We're talking about men's health, men's overall well being. And right now, this is so important because there is so much pressure on everyone, not just men, but women as well. There's so much pressure to be everything to everyone that you forget that you need to be who you are to yourself first, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Zach. And first of all, it's great to be back every month and have a chat with you and do what we do. Because I do believe the people who do listen to the Rewired for Men podcast show with yourself does does resonate and does relate. And we can see that by some of the comments that we get and the emails that we get coming in. So yeah, I absolutely, absolutely agree with with that statement and the importance of someone, I guess someone put it in a very clear way recently, was self-leadership. How can you lead other people until you lead yourself? And how do you look after yourself within that? It's that age old what we touched on before, is that if you feel 5%, how much can you give to somebody else? Well, 5%. If you feel 95%, you're more able to help others, but are you going to give all that 95% away? No, because why would you? And it's very much doing that. And we were sort of touching just before the show. It's great. Particularly men are very good at the list of jobs to do. It's tick 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 tick. But what's also really important is to sit still and take a breath and reflect on what you've gained from that experience. What can you learn from that experience? Um, it's very much obviously Rewired for Men is based on my lived experience, but the journey, the current life journey I'm on as well. And what I found more recently is it's really paramount to be as present as much as possible in everything you're doing, no matter what it is. Um, yeah, absolutely.
I
Very much so.
wonder, and let me know what your thoughts are. And I was just kind of thinking about this. Joel, back when Grandpa and even my dad uh earlier in or later late 1990s or late 1900s, whatever, you could always tell when news was on because they would be in a bad mood around noon, 5 and 10. Okay? That's when all the news came out. Now, we're at a we're in a situation where you've got news alerts that come on your watch every 2 minutes. So, we're being punched in the skull every 2 minutes by news that is just hitting us in the head. Um, and we don't have time in between each news story to take and react properly. How can we, what do we need to do? Because I know people say turn off the news, but let's be ridiculous. If you turn off the news, you also shut yourself of a lot of important things that you need to hear. So, what do we need to do to make sure that we can digest this in easier, I guess bite-sized chunks instead of just having, and the term just disgusts me, but instead of us all drinking out of a water hose, we can take and sit down and have a nice proper meal with the information that comes in.
I guess the first thing that comes to mind, if you find it coming every 2 minutes, then put a boundary in place so that doesn't happen. And in regards to a lot of how news watchers, they do a summary of it at the end of the day anyway. So why do you need all the alerts throughout the day, to do that? And I was speaking with someone this morning about that. A lot of the news that is on TV is doom, gloom, and despair. That's what sells. But it doesn't mean that that's to shape your reality. That's the way it is. It's up to you. The old age, you'll say, take it with a pinch of salt from that degree. And a lot of news stories, can influence your reality if you're not careful to be able to take a step back from it and see it from a different perspective. And this goes back around to the more you are present in your own life, the more you're able to react or respond to that, to what's coming in from, from that degree. I think it's the age of, take a breath and take a step back. Because like you was talking there before, if you're not careful, the way media is portrayed nowadays really can, if you allow it to, can really influence your mood, your emotions, and how you do that. How you operate on a day-to-day basis. But a lot of the time, life doesn't have to be that way. We're back to what we were talking about before, making a choice. You always have a choice. So, if you're getting those news brands all the time when you watch, you'll have a choice to turn them off. Instead of receiving them every 20 minutes, can you just get them to receive every couple of hours? Or can you just watch the news roundup at the end of the day or the end of the week from that degree? There's always that thing. No one's forcing you to sit in front of the TV and watch it. No one's forcing you for those news alerts to appear on your phone. You always have a choice in how you want to manage that.
Yeah. Well, as you and I were discussing before we started recording, okay, I'm having a problem with my insurance company now to get the medication I need for my problematic headaches. But we can also turn that back to during the 2016 election. One of the great reporters of our time, Ted Koppel, was on the Fox News coverage. And he said something during the election. I believe it was probably around 8:30 at night here in the mountain time. And they were talking, and Ted interrupted somebody, and he said, I think we're in a dangerous position because back in when I started this business, throughout my business, we didn't create the news, we reported the news. And I think
Yes.
that right there is one of the problems why everyone is having such a problem with this is because it's not the fact that we are miles and miles and miles apart. The truth is that we're hearing news and we're hearing people say things that shove us further apart when the truth is not out this far. The truth is we're probably closer to here than what we're hearing because there's all the bluster and all the BS in between what's actually happened and what's being said. So that's where I think this breathing exercise, Joel. I told somebody earlier today that look, the truth is that if you're smarter, people are going to look at you in a lot more positive light than if you're tougher. Okay, because
Absolutely.
anybody can be tough for a minute. A mother can lift a car off her child. You know, anybody can be tough for a minute, but being smart lasts forever. So if you don't respond to everything with hasty speech, you take and somebody asks you a question and you take and you back off and you take those 3 to 5. And as you're thinking about it, how do I want to answer this question? You're going to change how you respond almost every time because your first response is going to be coming back at this person basically with your fist swinging. And by the time you get to that final breath, you can really come back to him with a more level-headed response. You see that as well.
Absolutely. For me, that's come more and more in the last few weeks. There's a need to be more present, to be more in the moment centered. And you can easily do that, literally what you said, by just nice 3 deep breaths. Will bring you back here instead of worrying about tomorrow or being stuck in the past or being a place of reacting to something than responding to it. It's not even about being smarter. It's just about being more present, being being more grounded, being more here in in that experience. And there's been lots of reminders coming up this week that this has become the flavor of my life at this moment in time to really practice that even more what I preach. And a goal for me coming into this week is being at least 10 times during my day, just pausing and taking 3 deep breaths. It's not rocket science, it's simple stuff and we all can do it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like, I don't mean like that. I mean really just sitting and just breathing. That's
Yeah.
one breath.
And
And if
you know
anybody
what? If you're
tries
in a
that,
heated conversation, if you're in a heated conversation and you're going to take these, refreshment breaths or cleansing breaths or whatever it is, the other
yeah,
person's probably going to get a little bit pissed off at you because you're sitting there and you're stopping a heated conversation right in the middle. Good. Let that happen. Let them show their ass and you can maintain the civility part. We're falling into traps right now that people are setting. This is seriously our lives right now here in the States. And I don't know where you guys are at across the pond, but our lives right now are a series of traps that we are allowing ourselves to get caught up in. This is like a Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote cartoon because they're setting up the stupidest traps in the world and people are falling into them because not because we're not smart enough to see it's a trap. It's we are in a gratification now state and we need to calm down, look at the trap and go, I see what you're doing. I'm going to reverse path and I'm going to put this on you to where in the end you're going to look like an idiot. So, you know, what is it like? First off, what's it like over there? And I mean, it's not like you guys really have much to do with this. You have quite a bit to do with this political infighting, but what is it looking like in your side of the world?
well, I'll be honest with you, Zach, and based on what we were talking earlier this conversation, I don't watch the news. I don't get involved in politics. If it's really important, I will hear it through somebody else. From that degree, and anything which is worthwhile will always and important is always filtered through somewhere else. It doesn't need me to sit there and watch it. And very much, I I'm I'm responsible for creating my own reality and how I choose living that is entirely up to me. I'm fully accountable for that. And no one pushes my buttons apart from me if I allow them to happen from that degree. And if my only job here on this earth to be alive is to be present, then let's do it. And everything else will fall into place or it won't. And that's okay too from that degree. And what I mean, for me, there will always be traps out there, Zach. It's the
Mhm.
nature of life. What matters is, do you choose to fall into them or do you choose to not to? That's always down to the individual. I mean?
Oh
The
yeah,
roadrunner
yeah.
and the roadrunner and the coyote thing. The roadrunner would run around really, really fast, but when it got close to those traps, it would stop, breathe, assess the situation, and do something else. But a lot of time, the coyote would fall into his own traps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From that degree, and again, it's the whole thing of pausing, taking a moment to do that. Shit happens. We all have problems that arise, and a lot of time those problems we cause ourselves. But it's entirely up to the individual what they choose to do with that experience. Do they continue to react and make it worse, or do they respond to it and take what they can learn from it and move on? Do you know what I mean? It's entirely true. It's like, as an example, I took out a hire car recently because my car had a fault, and I thought I checked it properly with my film around the car and comment on the damage, and I had a lot of damage on this car that I hired. But it seemed the only place I actually missed was the front windscreen, and on the passenger side was a stone chip. I don't know if it was there before or not, but as soon as I brought the car back, what did he notice? This small stone chip on on the screen. Fortunately, I took out extra insurance for it. But my instant reaction was how this person seemed to point out straight away, prior knowledge possibly, but pointed out straight away. I started to react to it. And it was like, what's the point of reacting to the guy who just cleans the car and points out damage? What's the point? What am I going to gain from this experience? The
Yeah.
responsibility was on me. I should have checked the car properly in the first place. And I took out the extra insurance. So, yes, I've got to pay up front for a new windscreen. I doubt they replaced the windscreen, Zach, but for a new windscreen. But I can claim it back. And, and when I had moved inside the building, I didn't kick off with the people behind the desk or whatever management positions they were in. What's the point? I can't prove it was there before. What's the point of getting angry with it? Took the deep breaths, paid what I needed to pay, took the paperwork and left. I could slag them off, I could do this, could do that, but it isn't going to change the facts of what happened. And I'm fortunate that I had the paperwork that I put in, and touch wood, that they'll pay out in the next five days, and it was £575. But it's a lesson. It's a lesson learned, which is not just about check the hire car for damage, but you take another one. It's all about being present in the moment to deal with things better. That yeah, that happened. Yeah.
I don't think this is I really don't think this is a point where these are like those books when we were a kid that if you take a left turn, this is going to happen. If you take a right turn, this is going to happen. Because in those books, you don't know exactly what the setup is. You don't know what's going to happen when you go through the white tunnel or go through the left tunnel. In life, you can pretty much see what's going to happen. If I think this, I may damage a couple friendships because they're not going to like that I spoke out this way, or they're not going to like the decision that I made. Or if
Mm,
I do it this way, I'm going to look like a complete moron in a couple years. It's going to be like looking back at a picture of me when I was a kid with a mullet. It's like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Parachute pants and a mullet? Oh, good Lord, what's going on here? So, I mean, yeah, I was a stud kid, let me tell you. But you know, this isn't you can look ahead at the decisions you make. You know when you're doing something that is against your core beliefs. Those decisions, Joel, they're not they're not you're not unaware when you're going against them ever. You're highly aware when you're going against your core decisions, right?
yeah, and a lot of that relates to how present you are in that moment. A lot of the time, people are rushing around, and again, I'm sorry to hold my hand up. This has been a big learning experience for me to just be rushing from thing to thing to thing, and not just actually being here, present, right here, right now. To Because when you are present, you are more aware of yourself and your ulterior motives. Your ulterior motives govern all of us in regard to choice we choose to make or not. And everyone will make mistakes, Zach. What matters is what can you learn from those mistakes to do things differently. And to some degree, not even mistakes, they're bumps in the road that divert you somewhere else. And again, what learning do you take from that? Yes, you mentioned before, I mentioned before, I have made mistakes in the past that have impacted on myself and other people. absolutely. But what matters is right here, right now, how do I choose to live and what do I choose to do differently? And, there's a term that comes up for me, Zach, which is really important, not just for me, but for anybody in life. And is the discernment. We're talking about discernment here. And discernment is the ability to judge well. It's the ability to take that information in that making a decision or a choice.
Yeah.
We make choices every single day, and with every choice that we make, consequences will happen. And when those choices unfold, where are you? Are you present? Are you taking a deep breath? Are you centered? Are you slowed down? Or are you rushing off to the next thing? Because if you're not present right here, right now, as much as possibly you can be, because obviously that's different for different people, how are you going to expect to get the outcome you want when you're constantly rushing ahead or constantly worried or confident? It's not going to happen from that degree.
Yeah, and again, I think that you really need to take and you need to look at the situation that you're in, partly because of this, okay? You are not going to make an educated decision if you don't have all of the facts. I mean,
Yes.
you can make an educated decision on what you hear, but are you hearing the facts? Are you hearing everything that's going on? Okay, let's be honest here. Not every breakup is one-sided.
Yeah.
Not every, that just and that's right, guys, you're to blame for things in a breakup. So it's not just her all the time. No, no, it's not just her. But I mean, if you're listening to just bluster, and I keep using that word, but that word fits so well right now. If you're just listening to bluster and opinions, then you're not going to make an educated guess that's worth a damn anyway.
Yeah.
You need to really go out there and you need to find out what's going on and make that educated guess and don't take and just listen to one side or don't listen to just one thing because the old adage goes, there's your way, there's my way, and then there's the right way. There's my truth, there's your truth, there's the truth in the middle, and we need to be searching more for the truth rather than just my truth or your truth. So unless of course we like looking like an idiot, then I guess there's no reason to allow that to happen, right?
Yeah, but again, that goes back into what I was saying before about the importance of discernment, and the fact discernment is everything. You can't judge well if you're not present, if you're not there, if you're reacting all the time and responding, if you're allowing your rose-tinted view of reality to influence you too much, if you are listening to the news and taking it all as verbatim and it must be true without really taking a step going back, well, actually, it doesn't, it's not really that way from that degree. Being starting to question, reflect on things. And again, you only can do all these from place of just slowing down and being present. Again, we're back around to the one of the biggest things which comes up for me is literally practicing what I preach. I'm very good at it, but I find myself constantly digging a bit deeper with life, going, right, now deal with this, now work with that, from that perspective. So yeah, it really is important. Things happen all the time, and some of those you're going to call them as unpleasant, class them as unpleasant. But again, what matters is what do you do with that? How do you deal with that? How do you manage that?
Yeah, and I wanted to bring this up because I know there's a lot of people who probably think that I'm only talking about what's going on in the world politics wise, but that's not true. I had a conversation the other day Matter of fact, I had a conversation just this morning on this when we're recording, and I was talking to someone who is going through something that unfortunately we see a heavy, heavy spike. They're going through a divorce, and they keep getting triggered by what's being said. In which, you know what? That's kind of the purpose. That's what lawyers are trying to do. Lawyers are trying to make you, first off, lawyers are trying to get you to be pissed off. Okay? And they want you to make the fool of yourself in front of the judge. So this is where you've really got to take and look. You can take and do this in front of that judge. You can do it in front of a potential employer. You can do it in front of a potential community leader, whoever you want, but never just respond to the first, the first answer that pops in your mind. I guess not never, but generally you don't want to say, the first thing that pops in your mind, because that emotion is going to lead to what your answer is. And there's a lot of times you haven't put enough thought into that to give that educated answer. You haven't given it enough time to really sink in and be able to explain your answer.
Absolutely, and again, that's back to that discernment about being present. But also, what's always worth reflecting on is why is it triggering you? Why is it triggering you in the first place? What is it that's coming up for you? Because the other person's not triggering you; you're triggering yourself.
Right.
So what is it? Be curious. Great thing. What someone said to me, and it still stands. Is if an emotion comes up, just be curious about it. Instead of being whisked away with like this anger or anxiety, whatever name you want to give it, just be curious. What is it trying to tell you? What's going on in the background? It's not the other person who has triggered you. You've triggered yourself. So what is that? Be curious about that emotion. And when you are curious about it, and back talking here about being present and taking three deep breaths, three deep breaths seems to be the way forward, as it were. That you'll find that that level of emotion will start to dissipate, but also you'll be in a more reflective place to respond to that with a better answer and balanced answer than a reactive answer.
Yeah.
And the other thing as well, and we talked about before in previous shows, is what's more than like driving that emotion is what's happening on a unconscious level. The unconscious level of your belief system. What's that's what's about that's what's at the back of how we generally operate on a day-to-day basis is a finite set of beliefs that we've picked up from the age of 5 to 7, where there's very little evidence for them, but they must be true to a 5 to 7 year old boy or girl because that's the reality that you create, and it's not the case. So lawyers and solicitors are only doing the jobs in regards to what they're doing, and obviously they have their own motives in why they're saying what they're saying. That they're expecting you to react to those questions. And it isn't just lawyers, it's anybody really. But it's in that importance of, like I said, being curious of the emotion that's come up, taking a step back and just have a breath. Have that breath.
Give me this, Joel. What is your go-to when when you exercise this precaution? What is your go-to? Because I know what I do quite frequently is somebody asks me a question where I want to answer emotionally. What I'll do is I'll just kind of step back and I'll take that first breath and I'll just let them know, give me a second, let me make sure I got my answer straight. I don't leave them hanging thinking that, I'm just blowing off your question. And it actually kind of also gives them that assurability that, or that assurance that I'm actually putting some thought into the question. But
Mm.
truthfully, I'm just trying not to bite through my teeth, I mean, I'm not trying to bite through my lower jaw with the whatever they asked me. What is your what is your go-to when it comes to something like that?
Pretty much what I've said is just being curious. Being curious of that emotion, like what I told about before. The damage on the windscreen, and my initial reaction was, well, the car's effed already. It's got scratches all over it, and it was then actually that's taking a breath, going, "You'll be okay." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What am I responsible for in this situation? Well, I didn't check the car properly in the first place. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah, there's really nothing
it's a stepping back, isn't it?
there's really nothing in the world worse than when you sit there and you throw a complete and total tantrum about something. I've had this happen with the dogs where I just go off and I'm calling the dogs every name in the book and doing all that. God, can't have nothing night, all this stuff, and then I take and I look over and I find something that, discover, oh, I guess it's really not all that bad. Your dog doesn't understand the damn thing that you're saying. And I think they let you know at that point in time. The dog will just look at you like, you dumb fool. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know if you're praising me. I don't know if you're scolding me. Oh, and here's the other thing. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Come here and pet me, but yeah, stuff like that has happened to me all the time where I'm just swearing up and down and, doing all this stuff. And the dog is looking at me like going, wow, that's a funny place to start a conversation. So,
Absolutely. Again, it's very much that pause, isn't it? Hitting the pause button, being
yeah.
curious about the emotion, and it makes me smile afterwards. Where it's like, oh yeah, it's like another class classic again. Another example of not being present when making decisions. So back in March, I was planning the holiday last week that I had with my son, and there's quite a big theme park called Alton Towers close to where we live, and we have these cards which we pay yearly for that makes things cheaper or free if you go on certain days to the theme park or other tourist attractions. And back in March, I booked it to go on Sunday the 8th, which is just gone. And about a week went by, and there was a Lego event. You know what Lego is? I guess you've got that in the
Oh
US. So
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah. So it's a big thing in the UK, and there was a Lego event in the local town up the road, which this advertisement was for, like way back when. And I was like, well, I know what I'll do. I'll move the tickets from the theme park from the Sunday to the Saturday 7th, and I'll go to the brick thing on the Sunday. So the idea was there, but because I wasn't fully present and distracted, I never made the change and I forgot about it.
Yep.
So I rolled up to Alton Towers on Saturday with my son and his mum. We're not together. And lo and behold, when they scanned the ticket, he went, computer says no. So they didn't read it properly that I'd actually turned up a day early, and I didn't process it. So we had to pay an extra £30 to get in that day because we weren't booked in. Our ticket wasn't properly valid. So I'm thinking, oh, you're getting frustrated. I'm like, you know what? Just pay it, and then I can always put a complaint in later. So it was
Yeah.
only today, this morning, when I checked through it that the penny had dropped, that the initial thing was caused by me not being present
Right.
in making that decision that then led it on to there. But again, it's the lesson learned that that point of where your ticket computer says no, reacted a little bit. But you know what? We're here. My son's 8 years old. He's not going to understand me turning around and saying, "Right, son, we come all this way to Alton Towers, and we're not going to go in because Daddy doesn't want to pay any extra money and he's going home." And people might
God,
think, "Oh my
buddy.
God, it's 30 quid." But when you got an 8-year-old who doesn't understand, doesn't understand that, and he wants to go into the theme park, he ain't
Yeah.
going to get it, is he? So,
Oh, I remember we went to Legoland in Kansas City. I took my youngest son to Legoland in Kansas City, and I was looking around at all those, and I was thinking about, when I was a kid and we had like Lincoln Logs and pickup sticks and Legos. And for me, if I was able to build a house with a roof, I was doing good. My son built a replica of a Glock that actually he added a rubber band to it to where it slid and cocked itself. And I was like, I don't know if this is good, but damn, you got to be kidding me. How do you do this? And then we go to Legoland and we see some of the amazing things that these people are doing with Legos now. I'm like going, jeez, I was an idiot as a kid because I couldn't even dream of doing some of the things that they do. But I guess that's just one of the things that you learn when you get to be older. But Joel, do you have anything else that you wanted to bring up before we come to an end on this month's episode?
Yeah, a couple of things that, if people go on my website, www.rewiredformen.com, it's in the corner on which way do my hand go? Oh, it goes that way, down here in the
Yeah.
barcode. There, my hands don't coordinate. There is back. So I need to go. This is left, this is right. There we are. So www.rewiredformen.com. If you go on my website, I've got an online shop, and I'm really excited by 6 years in the making, Zach. Some products are now on there, what people can buy. So there's some great, like on realization today cards. There's 52 of them. Really will help to do what we've been talking about today, to breathe and reflect and take a step back. There's a practical guide to lots of different ways to help you make decisions better, deal with conflict better, confidence building. You've got a great simple guide on there as well that's for sale. And the whole thing of taking mindfulness in a more practical way and not as fluffy wuffy as a lot of people see it. You've got some great booklets on there with recordings of a male voice and female voice. So I'm really excited about that. But the other thing that's down here in the bottom, down in the bottom corner, so funny, isn't it? You can tell I'm dyslexic. I don't get the left from my right. So down in the bottom corner here as well is, it's a free gift for everyone. It's a Rewired for Men, always running quietly numb. A lot of men trying to find themselves in both states. Scan the barcode, download your copy. And you've got a few simple ways that can help you be more present, discern a lot better, and start to really reflect upon what some of those unconscious beliefs are that are not serving you anymore from that degree. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's
Well,
exciting times ahead.
yeah, look, folks, the thing is that we are in a high temperature time right now. You've got to keep your head about you. And this is definitely a time right now that it's better for you to show that you're smarter, not tougher. We don't need more
Yeah,
tough guys. We just don't need tough guys. We need smart guys. We need problem solvers. We need
yeah,
people who are able to go out there and go, look, this is a world where nobody's all right and nobody is all wrong. That's the
yeah,
way it is. And it's ridiculous if you're thinking that one side has it all right and the other side has it all wrong, well then you don't know near as much as you think you do.
yeah.
Because there's never been anybody who's had it all right. Never.
No,
And if that person had ever existed, if you're a religious person, they say except for Jesus. And Jesus even had his stumbles as a kid and a young man. So let's make sure that we're thinking with our brains, we're listening to truths, and have your own opinion. You can have your own opinion. Your opinions do not have to be shaped by other people.
yeah,
Just make sure your opinion is based on fact. I mean, if
absolutely.
you want your opinion to be based off what other people are saying, hey, people love fiction writers. So,
Mm, yeah, definitely.
but
Appreciate it, Zach. Always a pleasure. And look
yeah,
forward to
I
the next show already.
yep. I appreciate you, and we're going to continue to put out these episodes as Joel and I get chances to come together. I think this is definitely one of more my more enjoyable shows, just because do get to talk about some of the great things that are. So we get to talk about solutions for some of the great things that are going on. There are
Absolutely.
or negative things that are going on, and we need to show people that there is, I love being able to talk to you and we can show people that there are positive results that can come out of the negativity. If people just really start using their brains, we can bring positivity out of the garbage.
Absolutely. And if anything, Zach, life is what you make it. Whatever reality you want to
Hmm.
live, you shaping it's up to you. Do you know what I mean? And no, some people out there are destined to change the world and all this, which is great, but we're not all destined that way. With anything, why not put the effort of changing the one thing that matters most to you, and that's you, and those small groups of people around you, then pass it out from there. Really,
Yep.
that's where it should be at.
Well, if you go through life thinking that chocolate ice cream sucks, well, first off, it just means that you're a bad person. And second off, chocolate ice cream's always going to suck, you know?
Yes.
But again, you're insane, so I don't think your opinion matters much. But there's
Wise word for
that's
Zach
just not
Clayton.
factual, damn it. So, but all right, well, I thank you, Joel. We're gonna cut it here, but thank you, my friend, and we will talk to you again next month. How does that sound?
Definitely sounds good for me, mate. Take care.
All right, thank you.
Hello, world. My name is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer, and I am also a consultant at Z World Webs. My one goal is to develop custom websites that are specifically catered to your organization's needs. I completely understand that building a website is an exhilarating, exciting, and significant step in connecting with your audience. Your organization has the potential to make a meaningful impact, whether it's supporting animal rights, advocating for equality, combating human trafficking, or honoring the brave individuals who have served our country. Your mission is too important to be held back by the challenges a website can present. And I am here to ensure that your website works for you, not against you. Whether it's maintaining, developing, or redeveloping a custom website that is specifically catered to your needs. And with that being said, I would be more than delighted to learn more about your organization and, of course, develop a website Z World is waiting for.
So once again, that was my friend Joel White. You got to get a hold of him, guys. Look, if things just aren't fitting, if things aren't falling into piece or into place, if the pieces just are not fitting properly, you should really talk to someone. It doesn't stop letting your own thoughts get in the way. If things are not fitting like they should be, you need to go on ahead and swallow a little bit of that pride, because there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with asking people, you know, hey, this is what's going on. Have you ever experienced anything like this? Have you ever seen anything like this? What would you do? There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of life. It is truly, truly part of life. Rewired for Men is, this is, I've always said that there's something that you can say that can change someone's life. Rewired for Men is based on things that have went wrong, seeing those pitfalls that people can fall into, and saying, nah, we need to do something different. Next up, we have family networking. This is the family networking from last week. We encourage you to join us on the 10th. If you have any questions, get on our calendar right up here. This QR code, you can get onto the calendar, you can find out more. But this is what a family networking meeting is like. So I will see you in about an hour to close this out and get us set for another week. I never thought that I would record myself saying this, but Santa, shush, don't say that. Under 200 days. So hey everybody.
195.
oh, I'm gonna have to. Oh, I better not use the 86 because people freak out about that. But I'm gonna have to put Santa in a box. It looks like everybody. Zak Clayton with Community Pay It Forward. I want to welcome you to Family Networking. You see me surrounded by a bunch of our friends. We've got some new people here that I am very excited to meet. We've got a couple people who are returning, which is great. I love to see that. In the chat, folks, these are the questions I'd like for you to answer. I'd like your name, your business name, something we need to know about you. That could be business or personal. It doesn't matter. We just want to learn something about you. And then the question of the day is who in your personal network deserves more recognition for the good that they do? And is there any way that we could maybe get together and help them out? So this is really important because we want to make sure that we can try to help out as many people as we can. When you are doing your presentation, if you mention your business and you also work with a nonprofit, please mention that nonprofit or something. If you work for another organization that tries to help out people, also mention them and give them a little bit of light because people are out there working hard to make people's lives more positive. So let's really try to raise a light on them. Santa, I'm going to let the ladies, if you don't mind, I'm going to let the ladies kind of see how this goes. Ladies, do you agree with that? Yeah? Okay. So Santa, why don't you go on ahead and kick us off, my friend?
What do I say?
A lot, all the time.
Oh, ching.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I create happy, joyful, positive memories for families and businesses. And how do I do that? I create videos to promote happiness, to promote businesses. One of the things I do is I create a custom story for your family where I say the children's name in the story. And then of course, you get the wonderful memory of spending time with your children because you get to watch it at the same time they do, which includes the wonderful memory of mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy. Play it again. Santa said my name, but I also have branched out. I'm a very forward thinking Santa. I do t shirts, I do coloring books, and I've got a cookbook that Zak can't have because, there's 50 favorite cookie recipes in this cookbook. And, because Zak would want, Mrs. to make every one of them so he could try every one of them. Because, they're all Mrs. Claus approved. So, and I have
Yes.
my new terminology, Zak, is I am the master of happiness because I create smiles and positive attitudes wherever I go.
Well, that is awesome. Santa, tell us a little bit about your beacons where
Oh,
your beacons are.
absolutely. I help our veterans because Santa does lots of networking and over the course, veterans kept telling me that I'm on the waiting list. And I said, we got to do something better than that. So Santa is putting a whole different website together called the Warriors Beacon of Hope, where I'm compiling a nationwide list of services that help our veterans, not veteran owned services, but services that help our veterans and meetings. Believe it or not, you go searching for meetings, and if you put the tagline in there, hey, I want to find a meeting for veterans. Yeah, there are none out there. So that means you got to be a member of the group, member of the organization, know someone. So I've compiling a list, And then, of course, veterans have children and grandchildren that go to school. So I have a list of scholarships on there, which is kind of amazing because I've had many people say, thank you, because I went looking and I couldn't find any. You know, why is it so difficult to hide information or for the veterans to find information? So the Warriors Beacon of Hope is a new portal for information for our veterans. Thanks, Zach.
No problem. Thank you, Santa. I greatly appreciate it. Look, again, this is something that, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who are, there's a lot of problems going on out there. And I've said this all the time during the 22-hour podcast, okay? No matter what the battle that our kids, our veterans, our warriors are fighting, they are there, they're giving up of their lives, okay? You can hate the battle, but you shouldn't hate the kids that are giving up of themselves. These are kids that joined to serve this country. They go where they're told. That's what it's supposed to be. So let's give them a break, all right? Let's make sure that we're still supporting our kids who are out there supporting our way of life. Even though right now things are a little hot, let's just make sure we don't, there's the old saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's not lump our soldiers in with all the BS that's going on. So, but Alan, welcome, my friend. Why don't you go on ahead and go next, please? The questions of the day, Alan, I don't know if you jumped in time, but the question is the name, your business name, something we need to know about you, and that could be either professional or personal, whichever you would like. And then the final question is who in your network deserves more recognition for the good that they're doing, and how can we help them support? How can we help support them this month? So, Alan, you're up.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I see I'm on the screen next to the legendary Santa Papa Jim, and I'm actually writing. I wrote it down. The Warriors Beacon of Hope. I just want to thank Santa for doing that as a U.S. Army 13 Bravo veteran. I want to thank you for doing that and compiling that list. And we definitely have to have a follow-up one-on-one. It's going to take me too long to gush all over you, brother. But who I am, Alan Holmes, a master connector, community is the essence of business, and I am the master connector for building it. Who do I want to thank? Oh my goodness, it's probably, I feel like I'm, the award show is too many to thank, but yourdestinybegins.com, that was the legendary. You'll probably hear about him in a few minutes, Mr. Z. He is a person who's so humble. He helped me put together all my various different resources and veterans resources. And of course, Mr. Zach, you yourself, who allowed me to have my Masters of Connectors Corner radio show that I have just so much. In short, I collaborate, connect, and network, eradicating poverty, ending mental health stigma. My wife has mental illness, I'm mental wellness, so that's what that's a very deep passion of mine. Of course, educating on financial literacy. Let me know how I can be of service. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Zach, for bringing all of us and allowing me to come and tag along on this incredible Wednesday in summer. Like you say, a lot's going on, but we want to keep the focus positive. Love the kids. My wife and I don't have any children, but I'm a big uncle to the world. And I know I'm maybe going a little bit longer, but thank you as a veteran of this great country and this great community. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of the family networking. Back to you, oh great one, Mr. Zach.
Great one. That's so scary. So,
Ooh, that's going over the top a little bit there,
yeah.
Mr. Allen.
I would say you're going to give me a big head, but I've already got a big noggin, so I don't have to worry about that. But Timothy, how you doing today, brother?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Why don't you go on ahead and go next, please?
All right. So I'm Timothy. I typically go by Tim. I'm a financial advisor with National Financial Network. Something I guess interesting about me is I play a few instruments, piano, drums, and bass, and I'm a huge national parks guy. Usually do a trip once a year. Been 18 out of 63, so looking to cross them all off. And then somebody in my network who deserves more recognition. I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of people since I've got into networking since December. But I think somebody that I think deserves recognition specifically this month, who a lot of people in this group may not be familiar with, is a woman who I met, Calais Govender. She's in New Jersey, and she does a lot of branding and promotional products. And the reason why I would like to, I guess, nominate her to support her this month in particular is that we've been doing a lot of collaborating, and she actually just sent me over a catalog of summer items. And there's some really cool stuff in there that I've never seen a promotional person do. So going into rest of June, July, I feel like people could benefit from teaming up with her on some stuff.
Oh, that's great. It sounds like somebody's trying to fall through my ceiling. That'd be interesting, huh? Somebody comes through my ceiling and pops down on my lap, and it wouldn't be Santa Claus. So, at least I don't think. So, uh, thank you, Timothy. Yeah, can you do us a favor and can you put her information in the chat? Do you have
Sure.
her information
Yeah.
so you can share that with her and we can all maybe go and visit her page
Sure.
and shout her out? That would be great. Thank you very much. Ilya, brother, how you doing, buddy? You're up next.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Celia. I'm a founder and CEO of Red Dog Security. What we do is we help organizations to implement the technology in a minimal way. We do two things that usually don't work together, but we try to save the cost and then make them secure. An example is we just recently helped the organization cut down their technology costs from about 5 grand a month to 1,000, and we cut their cybersecurity insurance from a 2,000 to 700, and implemented all that necessary technology. But a little bit about me, I like to help people. I mean, like it's the reason why I started my company, and it's probably one of the problem is I'm not making enough money is because I mean either to make the money I help people, and sometimes I don't charge the people for money for the services I should be charging.
Yeah.
And a person I want to recognize is I just recently met a person. His name is Justin. Trying to find his name. Justin Merriff. He introduced me to something that I never thought about it, cybersecurity and accessibility. In cybersecurity, we're concerned about access. That is where we stop. And he was mentioning that, like accessibility is one of the things that the cybersecurity doesn't really look at. There was one of the examples he showed me that there was cybersecurity months, and majority of the webinars and material were not actually set up to accessible. I mean, like being more visual, being more for a hearing, and also like MFA. I mean, like that we always try to set that to people like multi-factor authenticator. You need to set up. But let's say you have a problem with some memory, or you have some other accessibility issue, right? That is going to cost you some problems. Yeah, that's
All right.
all about me.
Yeah, if you've got his information right there, I'd love for you to drop it in the chat. That way we can all look him up. All right. Lisa, you were the first to join us. Do you want to give us a shot?
Yeah, let's do this. So my name is Lisa Howard. I offer merchant services, which is credit card processing. If you take a credit card for your services, I can help you out. So that's the basic of the stuff. I've tried to write down some of your tasks. So one of the things that I do is I help with part of my proceeds go to nonprofits of your choice for credit card processing. One thing that you need to know about me, Tim, I'm also a musician. I play the baritone, the flute, the piano, and I've dabbled in the drums.
Wow.
So that's just something that you can know about me. And then for a person that I would like to thank, her name is Leanne Brown. She's been a really good friend to me. She does educational learning for businesses, and she's just been a great asset to me in regards to just helping me do my business and making sure that I'm staying on track and all that stuff.
That's
So that's what I have to
fantastic.
offer.
Yeah, and if you would like to share her information, please do. We would love to make sure that we're giving them all the kudos that we can. Before we move on to Karen, Timothy and Lisa, it was so funny that you two were talking about drummers. I was just watching this thing where I watched this one drummer on YouTube. The kid is just amazing. I mean, he sits there and the stuff he can do with one drumstick is better than and I listen to metal. So this guy with one hand can do what most of the drummers I've seen do. I mean, this guy is just amazing. And he ended up being a substitute teacher for some kids on this day, teaching them how to play drums. And it was amazing watching this guy walk in there to this room of kids. Some of know who he is and others don't. But when they were able to walk out, his style is so repeatable that he was able to teach these kids how to play a song that they wanted to learn on that day. I mean, the guy was just amazing. But that is really cool that, drums have come up a couple times today. But so Karen, welcome, and please tell us a little about you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
It's my first time here. Mr. Z was kind enough to invite me. I am a bookkeeper. I just started my business a little while ago. Work for small, medium-sized businesses. I've worked in nonprofit. I don't currently have any nonprofit clients. I've worked in a nursing home, which was fun. Right now I am a member of a rescue squad, not the medical. My family's medical. I'm the money lady. I help them with their fundraising. So that's real rewarding. And I'm just kind of looking to, expand my network and just I'm glad to meet everyone. I don't really have anyone to recommend. I'm kind of new to this whole thing, so just kind of getting a feel for everything.
Okay. Okay. Um, well, how long have you been in business, Karen?
I've been in the accounting field for a very long time, but I opened my business about 5 months ago.
And what was it about accounting that when you were working for someone else, you
Yeah.
kept telling yourself, I could do this better if I was doing it on my own? What was it about
Yeah.
the field that you
Yeah.
felt that you needed to make that step?
I felt like I've always worked for small to medium companies, and I felt like I really was doing a lot of things that weren't my calling, whatever. I like the numbers. I like helping people save money. I like, teaching. But I found I was doing a lot of HR, ordering supplies, and it just wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And I also wanted more flexibility in my life. Like I was kind of stuck to that 9 to 5, and I had a very difficult time taking any time off. So, it just kind of felt right at this point. And I do like to work with small business owners, and I do like to, help guide them, help them understand. And that's always been what I've loved.
Yeah. Well, welcome. I'm glad that Z connected us, and I'm glad that you're here. Welcome to the event. Z, we are having one hell of an electric storm, so if you do lose me, you know why. And you've already got co-hosts, so that means you would end up taking over host until I can reconnect. Just saying. So, yeah, all the all the yeah. I put my hair down so it's not become a lightning rod, I mean, but so next up we've got the Mr. Z. How you doing, brother?
Uh, Thank you, brother man. I thought Sabrina was going to go next, so let
She's running
me.
from us.
I'm sorry, what?
She's running from us right now,
Uh,
so
I see. All right. Well, thank you, brother man, and thank you for the acknowledgments, Karen. Santa, Tim, General Allen, and everyone. And hello, world. My name is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer and I am also a consultant at ZWorld Webs. Something about me. A very interesting group of people here. I like to forest bathe, go into the woods, tap into the greatness of nature, and be one with nature. Um, who in my network deserves more recognition? I don't mean to sound like I'm playing favorites, but I want to say thank you, General Allen, for the kind words, and of course for your service in the military. Not only are you a great master connector, but also someone that teaches the importance of helping our vets and our pets. Thank you, General Allen, for being the general that we need, but we don't deserve. And Zach, of course, I couldn't resist. Thank you for putting this all together and showing Z World that you care, like everyone else here too. Back to you, sir.
Yeah. I told you that I was
I
not
know.
eligible.
I know.
So, but, well, Sabrina, as soon as you come back on, I will bring you up. But until then, my name is Zak Clayton. I started Community Pay It Forward. It's coming up on 11 years. I cannot believe that. When 11 years ago, I was run off the road on my motorcycle and I was left in a ditch for over 7 hours. I ended up suffering a busted up face, a broken neck, and a broken skull. All kinds of fun stuff. And so what I do, my first thought was I was going to get into event planning. Then I realized nobody really wants an event that I'm going to plan. I mean, I'm kind of a weird guy, so nobody would want that kind of event. So what we do instead is, Karen, Lisa, we team with people like you. And we introduce you by your story. We let people know your story. We let people know that you're out there. Okay. And then we take a referral from you on any closed business. And we turn that referral into a donation to try to help people all around the world. This has led to some great partnerships with people like Sabrina, Alan, Santa, and Z, who are all part of my program. And our whole goal, like everything that we do, is about trying to find a way to help people out. So something personal about me is I am a huge sports guy. I love my animals, and this is going to go into the next introduction here in a minute because she's back. But and I really think that we can help everyone if we all work together. I think it is possible to help everyone. And somebody that I would like to give a shout out to are everyone out there right now who is keeping a calm head. Everyone who's out there and not falling into anybody's traps. Anyone who's out there right. Hi. Anyone who's out there and not losing their mind are making people's lives a little bit better. So I would like to just ask that everybody, try to keep your head a little bit right now. It is a tough time. So next up, we've got one of my favorite people in the world, and she's my sister because she's got one of my baby pictures behind her.
No.
Sabrina.
Hi, everyone. I apologize. I got on early and nobody was here. And then I had an emergency and I ended up being late. So, because of that, I'm Sabrina, the lifestyle promoter. I'm going to turn it over to each of you so I can get to know each of you a little bit better. And Mr. Santa, it's great to see you again. I've seen you at H&P a couple of times, so it's great to see you today. And Brother Zach, I appreciate the introduction. And no, you do not look like my shot behind me. You're my brother. So if you look like that, what would that make me? That would not be good.
See, Sabrina, here's the joke though, okay? I was born on Christmas Eve in New Jersey at an Army hospital, right? And I was born at 10 o'clock at night. So everybody was celebrating Christmas. Everybody had a few adult sodas and everybody was all a little bit drunk. My mom went into labor, so they had to find a doctor quick. Who did they find? They found the veterinarian. He was the only one who was sober. So until they could get another doctor in there, I was the veterinarian started delivering me. And when I came out, the veterinarian looked at my mom and said, "Oh my God, you did have a monkey for a son."
Oh,
So
That explains so much, Zach.
doesn't it? Yeah, wait until you hear that, I came out my back haunches first. So, I mean, yeah, life started a little bit different for me. Sabrina, give us somebody in your life that you would like to give a little more notice to. Somebody who
oh, I want to
deserves
give.
our recognition.
So I want to give a shout out to. Ooh, you have a new pet. I haven't met him yet.
Oh,
So,
this one's Zephyr. Yeah.
oh, cool. Okay, I got sidetracked. When I see animals, I do get sidetracked. Everyone, I want to give a shout out to Holly, who I don't think is here today, but what she does to help women and men pass their extreme traumatic experience. I'm like this. Oh my goodness, she has so much to give to society, culture as a whole. If you have not had a chance to have a power conversation with Holly, and I'm forgetting her last name right
Miller.
now, but I'll look it up.
Miller.
Miller, yes, Holly Miller. If you haven't had a chance to connect with her on LinkedIn or social media platform of your choice, definitely do it. And if you have a podcast, I would kind of like encourage her to be your guest. I'm going to ask each of you a quick question because I didn't get to meet all of you due to my emergency I had. Tell me, if you have, money's no option, okay? So I don't want to hear the money excuse. Time's no option. I don't want to hear that excuse. If there's some place on the earth that you would like to go and have not, where would that be? And I can be name challenged, so I'm going to have Zach help me around the room. I like your haircut. It's really cute, and the gray hair is gorgeous on you with the brown. Would you lead us off? Is it Sarah or Lauren?
Karen?
Karen. Yeah. It's funny because I've just started to travel a lot. So my next big trip, I hope, is a cruise in like Spain, France, and Italy. That's where I'd like to go.
Ooh, a woman after my own heart.
Yeah.
Yes. The gentleman with the glasses on his head.
Ilya.
It will be Ilya. I mean, like, it's very simple. I want to go home, but I mean, like, unfortunately, there is a war is going on, so that's the only place I want to go.
And where is home from you? I cannot place your accent.
I mean, this will be Russia.
Nice. Santa.
That would be. I've got a couple places. Well, actually, three on my bucket list. That would be Scotland because my mother was from Scotland, and I want to go swim with the whales in Australia, and of course, I want to go to Hawaii.
Ooh, Hawaii. Yes, my favorite place. Mr.
Never
Z.
been there.
You've
but
been there?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. You'll enjoy it, especially if you like volcanoes.
Incredible scenery lately.
Mr. Z?
Oh, thank you, Sabrina. I'm gonna say Africa, specifically in yeah, I'm gonna say in Africa, somewhere there. But thank you, Sabrina.
Yeah, anywhere you don't have like something in particular that you want to see in Africa? What draws you to Africa? Let me ask that question.
Just the wildlife and see how the lions work.
Yes. Okay.
But thank you, Sabrina.
So
And as a chimp like myself, I think I can fit in just fine.
a safari would be great. That's
Perfect.
what I'm hearing. The gentleman with the headphones on his ears.
Mr. Allen.
Sabrina, first of all, yeah, I know I've seen you before we talked. I think I've been, you know what? My goodness, what a wonderful retreat Where am I going? Well, let's see. Besides, I'm a WWE fan. I got to go to WrestleMania. It's coming up soon. Then I may just zoom over to back to Germany where I was in Cologne. And who knows? I just might pop up somewhere in the background of that little your background. Just put the little pet away because I do speak pet, by the way. But anyway, I love this conversation. This is going to go longer than. See, Zach, you're responsible. You know what I was going to do when I respond to this. We have to have a one-on-one so I can. I do have a podcast. Mr. Zach hosts it. See, he does know that. He's been so let's get together. Thank you for nice meeting you. Zach, back to you and the great one. Sabrina, we honor you. We honor you. Is he on a leash back there? Is he on a leash back there?
No, I was actually close to him. This is a mommy and her baby. Well, the baby you don't see behind me. God gave me a unique gift that I photographed this Lima monkey very closely, meaning I could reach out and pet her if I wanted to. We spent about 45 minutes to an hour together, just hanging out. And you see her mouth is open, right? So when she walked by me, she's like, and I went off. I said, Heffa, if I wanted to hurt you, I would have long time ago. We've been hanging out for a long time. But they're very smart animals. And when I got back to my room that had a balcony, guess who was outside on the tree? They're very smart. I opened up my balcony and I said, yes, Heffa, I meant what I said. What are you doing? And she looked at me.
We must be related. You just have a no filter. Just okay. But
yes, I have no filter. This is Zach's meeting, right? So, and then, is it Lisa? I apologize.
Let's go with Lisa.
No worries.
Oh, I got your name right. Yay.
Yeah, you got my name right. So it looks like the places that we want to travel. Is that correct?
Yes, the top place. No money, you have time, all the money. Where would you go?
Gotcha. I was on the phone. I apologize. The top place would be Australia.
Ooh, nice. And then the sir that I not last or least, is it Timothy?
Timothy.
Oh, I got it right. Okay.
If money and time was no issue, I would go to Antarctica. I want to be able to go to that 7 continents. I'm sure I'll be able to go everywhere else. More realistically, I would like to go to Norway because I was hoping to go there, and then it was canceled because of COVID. So I still need to make that up.
Yeah. Nice. Antarctica's on the top of my list, and because of the gift of this, I want to photograph the polar bears as well as the penguins. Zach, we always talk about your spot, so I'm going to be quiet because I took up enough time.
I love the polar bears. For me, you know what? I've got one thing on my bucket list, and that's how I want to take, and I want to help enough people to where we're able to go to the European castle tours. Just go throughout Europe and visit all the castles and all that history. I'd love to get into Rome and Egypt and Greece, and go to all these wonderful
West
places.
Germany.
Yeah, hey, you know what, Alan? I spent the first 3 years of my life in Berlin, so we had an apartment overlooking the Berlin Wall, so we could see into East Germany from my apartment. So we were that close to history. But so that was fun, Sabrina. That was fun. And Sabrina, you also have a way to help people make these trips come true, right?
Yes, and we a lot of people had said to me when I showed them how we travel the world at amazing prices that they wanted to go with me. And I resist that for years, ever since I've been doing this. And whenever something keeps coming up, that may be the thing you need to do. So I did something very uncomfortable, and I started inviting a select few in my network the opportunity to go with me for my trips this year. And I always go when the children aren't in my way or the people aren't in my shots. So I choose very strategic times to travel, and shared with a select few of individuals that mentioned it or may not have mentioned it that I wouldn't mind traveling with, because I'm sure all of you know you can't travel with just anyone. I have a lot of stories about that because I've been there, done that, right? To say, well, that doesn't always work. And this is how we can relax and reboot and re-energize. So what we do is we help you do that, relax, reboot, energize, re-energize without paying full ticket prices. Usually when we share the prices, one or two things happen. People will either curse, one lady just, a couple of them. I was like, okay, that's too much for my ears, because they had just came back from the exact same place and paid way too much money. Or they would start to cry because they really can realize their dream and spend a lot less money than what they had planned to spend. So I appreciate each of you for participating, because that gives me some ideas on places that we're going to feature on our YouTube channel.
That's great. I saw a place in Antarctica where they were making hotel rooms out of ice, and where that sounds extremely uncomfortable, these rooms looked so comfortable. They were able to build fires inside these rooms, but like the bed frame is made out of ice. The furniture is all, I mean, it's just, these were amazing. It was like being in, the mythical Superman's castle, Superman's cave. They look really cool. So, I mean, I know that there's a lot of really cool places out there. Okay, so the other question is, and yes, this one's a little bit boring, but I know, we are in the business world. Karen, we're at the 6th month. Have you accomplished any goals? And are you working on anything for the rest of the year?
I guess I've gotten at least my website up and started networking. So that is my I guess accomplishments. I get stuck in I want it perfect, but that's not real life. Otherwise I'd never get anything done. And just my goals, I think, for the rest of the year are just to network and to grow my business.
Fantastic. Um, every step, getting that website up, that is so important. And it's so, people don't understand a lot of times, like people who aren't in business, how frustrating it is to get that website up. So, I mean, that's the first representation of you to a lot of people.
Yeah,
So,
and getting listed on Google was harder than getting my website up.
yeah. Yep.
Because I was thrown off a couple of times for God knows what, but it's back up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa, have you accomplished any goals in the first half of this year? And what are you still going to work on for the rest of this year?
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at my vision board that my business coach helped me design. Well, I designed it, but she helped me with the fruition of it. But part of it was to double my business for this year. And I've done half of that. So I'm halfway there. It's halfway through the year. And I'm excited about the rest of the year to make sure that my goal happens.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. Sabrina, same question.
The offer, go with me anyway offer, put me way outside of my comfort zone. And I've already created the videos for it and sent it out to people. Now we're getting the pricing. They have a new part in the portal that lets us take people with us. And I'm waiting for the numbers from the travel agent that's assigned to us. So it should be fun. Should be fun, being optimistic.
I'm looking forward to it because I love following you and seeing everything that you do. So, Alan.
Wow. This is a wonderful conversation. My goal for the rest of the year is really, one, getting more hint guests for the Master Connectors Corner. So if you have a dream or vision and you want to make sure that you make it to the Sabrina, the lifestyle promoter, see what I just did? This is what I do, is I would love to and I am working on getting more one pagers done so I can help others dream further, because people think this is an act. I almost became an actor. It didn't work out. I was in a couple of Hollywood movies before I went to the military. People, they thought I was Pele when I was in Europe and Montel and all the others. But, I love doing with this, where we're having conversations, because it allows me to be who I am as a master connector and a veteran, and helping others reach their dreams. That's what I will ultimately want to be, as a super connector. And then when I keep showing up to these family networkings, I may just mess around and accidentally on purpose mention all of you great superstars. And yes, Lisa, I wrote it down. I know what a vision board is. Oh, now you're going to have me go back, way back. I won't start singing because that's Tim's job. Oh, yeah. And also, Tim, he's somewhere. I want to see his musical abilities, because I am taking auditions. No, I'm kidding. Mrs. Zach, see, don't give me a mic, because I'm going to just keep going. We go, Mr. Iya, behave yourself. I need to do a one-on-one back with you. Back to you, Mr. Zach. Oh, great superstar. Thank you for allowing having us. I appreciate you.
Not a problem. Thank you, brother. Ilya, we're halfway through the year. What have you got?
Yeah, I mean, like, since the business is new, I mean, like, we just gonna be celebrating a year. So my goal is to continue do what I do. I mean, like, just to make it sustainable, so I don't have to take the money out of the savings. That's basically my goal for the rest
Yeah.
of the year.
Well, we'll keep working on this, brother, and we'll help you build. And we're all in this to try to help each other out. So it's the whole reason why this is going. Why this got started. So, Timothy, what are your goals and what have you accomplished so far?
So one goal that I have is just to become a better advisor than I was the day before. So I do a lot of, preparing and studying and learning every single morning, usually before most other people get in. So like in that sense, I'm definitely a much better advisor than I was on January 1st. Another major goal that I had was that the insurance carrier that we're partnered with, they give us like a goal of a target by the end of the year. And if you're able to do it by the year's midway point, you earn making Leaders Club. And I have more than enough in underwriting to qualify myself, but they're not paid situations just yet. So looking to work with underwriting and kind of get them over the finish line in the next 3 weeks.
Good luck, brother. Good luck, man.
Appreciate it.
Keep going. Keep going. Santa,
Greetings.
what?
What have I accomplished? Man, you know, I'm not a rich man by the token, but I've created some incredible relationships, folks. I'm well over 100,000 followers on social media. My website is now, I'm going to brag, an incredible uh, shop that, if you 6 months ago, if you would have told me, I would have been doing t-shirts, coloring books, a cookbook, I would have said, you're nuts. What's that got to do with Santa? But here I am promoting three new big products, and I'm pretty excited about it, because it's all about building the brand, and the brand is growing very proudly and very interestingly, and just learning new marketing ways, because now I'm actually marketing a product instead of marketing me. So that's enabled me to watch a lot of YouTube videos to double check on how to do things. You know, Folks, if you have questions and you don't know what you're doing about certain things, Zach doesn't know all the answers all the time, and neither does Mr. Z, but they know a lot of answers. But let me tell you, YouTube will give you a lot of incredible answers, and make you think outside the box on, you know, how to challenge yourself to take yourself to that next level. Don't ever say you can't do anything. Don't say, you can't go fishing in Zach's, fish container behind him, because you might get a little upset, but it could be possible. But, the reality of it is you have to challenge yourself every now and then to move to the next level, to move positive and move forward. So it's been an incredible year so far.
I'll just let you know, no, you can't go fishing in my tank. No,
I didn't
no.
say fishing, I
I
said swimming.
Swimming. Well, I can swim a couple fingers in there, but that's about it. Uh, Santa mentioned that he does stories and does personalized stories. If you and I just put a post in the chat. I just put in a site where if you play the video, that is the story that Santa recorded for my 7 grandkids. So you can see one of the stories that he performs by going to his well, I hope you don't lose us yet, Sabrina, but we understand. But that's one example of his stories. Z, we did not bring up Z World Cares. I need you to talk about that, and then we will move on to your goals.
You know what? I appreciate you acknowledging that, Zach, because that has been one of the goals that I've accomplished is to find ways to help people show that you care about supporting nonprofits. And everyone here, like Santa, Zach, General Allen, Tim, and many others too, who want to support nonprofits. That has been one of the biggest goals. I've been thinking about it for quite some time. And thank you, Zach, for allowing me to showcase Z World Cares. My upcoming goals, I'm hoping to do more good in this world. And by connecting with great people like yourselves who really do care about making a difference, you're making that possible. Or as I like to say, the good say, you.
Mhm. I appreciate it. And for me, when it comes to goals, we very simply, we've got the app designed, the mobile app for community pay it forward. It is designed. Now we're just working on getting it released. So that was something that, when I started this crazy vision 10 years ago, I wanted an app immediately. Well, here we are 10 years later, and now it's finally coming true. So, I've got to thank the great kids from ASU for putting it together. Michael March is still with us in the community, and he's still working with us every day, dealing with Apple and Google, trying to get the app ready to come out, and so we can share it with you guys, and we can turn everyday sales into donations. So. We've only got about 10 minutes left, and I appreciate everybody here, but we do have to ask one question every episode that we do this. And the question is very simple. Karen, I'm going to ask you, who can you help directly today, and what can we do to help you?
Can I help directly today? Well, I jotted down everybody's name and, I'm going to connect with a bunch of you people, but, just keeping you in mind as I'm out there networking in other places that, oh, I met this really great person, that type of thing. And the same thing for me, if, anybody knows anyone, small business, medium business, or somebody that would be great to connect with, I'd love to be introduced. And, like I said, I've worked with nonprofits and that's always a great arena to work in. I've always found it rewarding. So I'm very open to working with nonprofits and helping out where I can.
That is so fantastic. Sabrina, are you still with us to where you can answer these last 2 questions?
Yes, I am. I'm just turning off my
That's fine.
video and serve. Karen, I was sending you a message. Would you connect with me on LinkedIn? It's Sabrina Morris, and you'll see my shot of the Eiffel Tower behind me. I'll introduce you to Catherine, who runs a networking organization. And I think you said you wanted more networking. Is that correct? Okay, I'll introduce you to Catherine. And we have really great networking events. We do problem solving, mastermind. It's a lot of fun. And then, Mr. Allen, it's great. I recognize you by your voice. It's great to finally see you today. And yes, I'd be happy to be a guest on your podcast. And it's great meeting everyone today. And my thing says 1%. So love you guys. Love you, Zach. Thank
Love
you
you
for
too, sis. Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Lisa, who can you help directly today and how can we help you?
That's a big question. So I was trying to think of that. I'm trying to connect with a gal who does, and I've known her for years. I just never had her phone number until today. But she does networking with, and this is what something that Karen mentioned in regards to getting back out of the back office and into actually what you're actually doing with your, which is bookkeeping. So getting out of the HR component and doing actually what you're involved in. So I sent you a link to my LinkedIn, Karen. So I want to connect with you. So there's that. What was the other question?
What can we do today to help you?
To help me, just connect with me. I believe, I don't think I put my LinkedIn information out there, but my phone number's out there. Just call me and I'll answer and we can go from there to do them face to face. So
And that is great. Well, Lisa, I am thrilled to have you join our little group here. So I hope to see you again next month on the 10th. So, Timothy, what can we do today? Or who can you help directly and what can we do to help you? I ask this every month. I should have the question down, but no.
So how I can help today is I'm trying to just continue to get more and more into the networking. So kind of like what Karen had said, if I know who you want to be connected to, I'll do my best to make those introductions. Once I kind of come across those people over the course of, the weeks to come. How I can help people kind of generally is just if you have a goal that requires any financial planning, I can help that person with pretty much anything. And then what was the second part of the question?
What can we do today to help you, brother?
Well, there's a few groups of people that I like to work in particular. I like to work with young professionals. The things that I always say to look out for are diplomas, diamonds, and diapers. If you see those, I like to help them kind of get out of the gate, doing the right thing. And then I do a lot of work with business owners, medical professionals, and real estate agents.
Perfect. Perfect. Timothy, thank you for joining us again. I hope that we get to keep continuing our conversation. I had a really great one-on-one with Timothy, and I suggest everyone does the same. So, Mr.
Thank you.
Holmes, what's up, Holmes?
Yeah. Yeah, King Arthur Sherlock Holmes, that's my first name. I've heard it all. No, you know what? I love this day. I'm old school, so you're gonna have to send me a list. Santa will be upset at me when I say this, but Santa, the list, because I need all you great ones. I have ideas coming out of my head. But Karen, for example, right off the bat, there's a group. I'll put it in there.
You're muted, brother.
This is what I do. I mute myself. I get excited. I mute myself. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Karen, I have someone for you because it's called IceDM. I'll put it in the chat for everyone. It's have access to, not me, but the person I contact has access to, well, I don't know, 140,000 nonprofits. So you might have to share it with Zach a little bit. And then, of course, how you can help me is just connect with me because Mr. Zach and Mr. Z put together this platform called Give So Goods, the little furry ones. I am an affiliate for them, so we got to help the little ones and they're in the ones. So I'll put that in there. But thank you again from the bottom of my heart for allowing us to be part of your family network. And I will let the world know about all of you great ones once I have your one pager. Hint, hint. Back to you, Mr. Zach, in the great world of Colorado.
I appreciate it, Alan, as always. Ilya, who can you help directly today, and what can we do to help you, brother man?
Sure. We can help today. I'm looking specifically for people who are starting the business and not sure how to do the technology. That's the people I want to talk to. I mean, not necessarily gonna brings you a lot of revenues, but I mean, at least I can help somebody. And what was the other question?
What can we do to help you?
Sure. I mean, like, connect with me. I mean, like, find out on my LinkedIn, connect with me, set up one-on-one. I will be great to talk to.
Sounds great. And just to let everyone know, there will be a post on LinkedIn tomorrow that's going to have everybody's information on it. We're going to be sharing that out there. It'll have either your community pay it forward profile, those of you who is in the community pay it forward profile, it's going to have you there, or it's going to have your LinkedIn profile. So if you're having any troubles meeting anyone or finding anyone on this will help you to connect with them so we can stay connected. Santa, who can you help today except for me now that I'm hungry thanks to you and your damn cookie book? And what can we do to help
I
you?
didn't do anything. You know, I've only posted about
Created a cookie book, man. Come on.
15 different cookies online so far. You know, geez, man, you got to check them all out. There's some really good ones in there. Not my fault. You know, folks, I love networking and meeting people. And you know, there's the old proverbial: when you're down and having a bad day, nothing's better than having a great conversation with someone. You get to share information, and the power of networking is huge if you utilize it. That means you tell a good story, you build a relationship up so you know that that person can go, hey, you know, I met a pretty cool Santa yesterday and I had a great one-on-one with him. So I'm going to tell my friends. That's the power of networking. Even Alan, come on, you know, Alan's such a good guy. And when you meet with him, he'll refer you to other people. So folks, glad for the connection. What a great conversation, Zach, today. This has been incredible. There's once again, you found some new people, so that's awesome. So hey, if you enjoyed meeting me and the other people here, share some love and just share our names around to people that could use all the people on the site, the services that we offer, because you know, that's the power of networking.
Then I'm going to take in, and Santa, I'm going to step on your toes for here just a second. And the way that you can help out Santa, if you know a veteran, if you know a veteran organization, if you know a veteran in need, have him get a hold of Santa. With his new project, this is the best way to help out veterans because this isn't a place where they're going to have to go to 15 different websites to find this. He's trying to put together something to where veterans can, with less time, maximize their own health, their own well-being. So and Santa, I'm sorry I took over for you there, but that was just something I think that's probably the best way to help you today.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So, Mr. Z, you're up, brother.
Thank you, brother man. Those that I can help or want to help, those who are seeking help, and not just our vets or people who need assistance, but also our nonprofits who just need assistance. We're bringing awareness of what they're doing. Um, what was the other question? My apologies.
Can we help you?
You're helping me right now, connecting with great people like yourselves who really do care. And it's all thanks to you, brother man, and Santa,
Let's.
and Alan, Amelia,
It's
Tim, Karen.
yeah. I think it's all to all of us, and this is, part of the family. This is what we do. How can you, or who can I help today? I can help you help others. That's our goal. We want to help you help others. If your day is filled with the question, how can I help someone else? And how easy is it to do it? Well, we can help you answer that question. Those questions. That questions? Yeah. I speak for a living. How you can help, or how you can help me today. Folks, please, if you've got an extra hoodie that you no longer wear, and a hoodie is just one example, it doesn't fit you anymore. Don't take it to a thrift store. Don't put it in a yard sale. Put it in your car. Give it to somebody that you see in your community who's struggling with the elements. If you make too much food, take and put that food in the old hillbilly Tupperware, in an old butter bowl, in an old whipped cream bowl if you're a fat guy like me and have tons of whipped cream bowls all laying around. Put it in there, zap it in the microwave, take it to somebody who's either shut in or somebody who's out on the streets and suffering. These are small things that mean absolutely nothing to you. These are things that you're not going to miss, but it could mean the world to them. This is how easy it can be to make a difference and be to help somebody out and not cost you a penny. So these are the kind of things that we try to promote on Family Networking and Community Pay It Forward. I want to say thank you all to Karen, Alan, Timothy, Lisa, Santa, Ilya, Mr. Z, and my sister Sabrina. Thank you all for joining us. Please join us again next month on July 10th. I hope to see you all then, but thank you all very much. What if your story could power a movement? Every struggle you have conquered becomes the answer someone else is still searching for. At Community Pay It Forward, your mission matters. When someone shops with one of our giving partners, they can choose to support you simply by uploading a receipt. Your story gets shared, you get visibility, and you can share our program to raise up to 90% in referral awards. You have a story worth sharing. We're here to help you tell it. Apply today by using the QR code or at communitypayitforward.us. Because your story deserves to be shared. And at Community Pay It Forward, no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much to everybody who was just on Family Network. And we do invite you to please join us again next month. This happens one day, okay? It's one day a month. It is the second Friday of every month. So yes, again, the next meeting is July 10th. After 4th of July, after all the fun stuff is over, we're going to get back to business. So July 10th, come and join us. If you'd like to know more information, you can find out more about Family Networking using For My Card, one of our great business partners, our giving partners. I do want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to Joel. Again, as always, fantastic show. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoy you and your what you do. It is so important that we work on ourselves so we can help others work on themselves. It's none of our rights to tell somebody who they should be. They can only be one person, and that's themselves. We got to take care of ourselves so we can take care of other people. You guys have all heard, put the oxygen mask on yourself before anyone else. That's difficult to do sometimes. I think the first step is deciding that you don't want to just be there. You want to be part of a solution. Let's work together to make this happen. Let's make sure that we're not leaving people behind. Please love somebody out there because somebody out here loves you. My name is Zak Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward and Community Dare to Care, these wonderful PAC channels. Please, if you'd like to join us on a show, and my allergies are kicking my butt right now, so sorry about this. I've got to rub my eye. But if you would like to join us, please, again, you can get that information in For My Card. You can also send me an email at Zak, Z-A-K, right there, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. That's Z-A-K at communitypayitforward.us. Please take care of each other. 4th of July is coming up. Please party, have fun, but be safe. Other people around you depend on you to be safe. Be cognizant of your neighbor who may be suffering from PTSD. Whether it's wartime PTSD, maybe it's abusive PTSD. and loud noises just cause problems. Remember your pets. All right? These fireworks are tons of fun. Not if you got fur, because they don't understand what the hell's going on. Again, please love somebody out there because somebody out here loves you. My name is Zak Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels. Remember, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. Come with us because no one needs to go it alone when we all come together.